Well, estate planning is something that many people put off, thinking it's only for the wealthy or older people, but everyone needs an estate plan. Chad Slagle is a retirement and estate planning advisor and president of Slagle Financial. Thank you for joining us.
Always good to be here, Jennifer.
So what is an estate plan?
Well, an estate plan is a plan that you have if something were to happen to you, if you were to pass away. You want to be able to pinpoint if you have assets such as a home, real estate, brokerage accounts, IRA accounts, retirement accounts. You want to pinpoint exactly where those assets go if you were to pass away. So that's what an estate plan is.
So it includes a will and a trust, is that correct?
Yeah, a will is a simple document that basically states what persons or entities that you want your assets to go to. Trust is a little more in-depth, and it allows you to get through the probate process, which can often be very costly with attorney fees and court fees to your beneficiaries, as well as very timely.
So if you don't have an estate plan, what ends up happening to your assets?
It will go through what's called probate, which an average estate could take well over a year to settle in probate.
And if you have an estate plan, then your heirs will get everything that you put aside for them in a timely manner?
Absolutely, and you know, we talk about wills and trusts and some of the legal things that you need to understand, but there's a lot of other things that you can do to get you through the estate process and help your beneficiaries avoid the probate process as well.
Like what?
Well, some of the things you can do as far as setting up your finances, if you have brokerage accounts, IRAs, or retirement accounts, you want to make sure those accounts are set up properly and your beneficiaries are listed. So upon death, those accounts will go directly to your beneficiaries, avoid probate, avoid court costs, and avoid the time. Also, if you have checking accounts, money market accounts, CDs, things of that nature, you want to make sure those accounts are set up with what's called a POD, payable on death. In other words, it's paid directly to your beneficiaries if you were to pass away. Another account that you may have is a brokerage account or stock accounts. You want to make sure those accounts are set up with what's called a TOD, transfer on death. It transfers directly to your beneficiaries and, again, avoids the probate process.
So who do you have to hire to put together an estate plan, and how much money do you have to spend?
Well, it all depends on your situation, what the size of your estate is. You know, if you have a small estate, you may just need a simple will and your power of attorneys, power of attorney for finances and power of attorney for health. If you're incapacitated, that allows you pinpoint someone to take care of your finances and your health issues. If you have a larger estate, then you may need a living trust. As far as a team, I believe you should have a good estate planning attorney. I think you should have a financial planner. I think you should have an accountant to make sure you're doing everything in the most tax advantageous manner. And I also think you need to have an insurance agent as far as if you need long-term care insurance to protect your assets, disability, or maybe even a liability policy to protect your assets from lawsuits.
So what do you think about these wills that people can do online? Because a lot of people think they can't afford all this, so they'll just go online and do it. Are they legit?
Well, I don't. For me, not being in the legal profession, I'm more of a financial planner, so I don't want to comment on that. But what I would say is I would recommend that you sit down with a good estate planning attorney or an elder law attorney and sit down with them for an hour, tell them about your estate, tell them what your goals are, what your needs are, and what you want, and then I would see where you go from there. But if it was me, I would not go online and pick one of these out. I would sit down with a good elder law attorney, not only that's going to be here now, but for down the road if I pass away, someone that's going to take care of my beneficiaries in the estate as well.
So, Chad, at what age should people start thinking about this?
Well, anytime you accumulate wealth. Now, when I say wealth, it could be a home. That's an asset. If you have an IRA or a brokerage account, it's very important. So if you're an older individual, of course you want to think of estate planning. But if you're younger people like me, you need to think of estate planning. For instance, at 36 years of age, I have 4 children. If I pass away and my spouse passes away, it's very important to have a plan. Number one, guardianship. Who is going to take care of my children? Very, very big thing that you need to consider if you have children. But also, who's going to manage those assets for my children? Life insurance, IRA accounts, things of that nature. If I pass away, who is going to manage those assets? Very, very important that a lot of younger people really don't think about.
So do you have friends and you run into younger people who think, you know, they're just going to put this off?
Absolutely, because death is something nobody wants to think about, but it's all something that you need to plan for. First of all, to give you peace of mind, but also to take the burden off of your beneficiaries and your family members, because if you pass away, it's first of all the emotional strain of, hey, I've lost a loved one, but now it's who's going to manage this money, who's going to take care of the children, and it really relieves your family from a lot of heartache.
So it is possible that a wife would be left and wouldn't even have access to the money if her husband passed away to take care of their children, right, if he didn't make the right...
It's quite possible, and again, when I say an elder law attorney or an estate planning attorney, I recommend that you sit down with with an estate planning attorney every time something in your life changes. If you have another child, of course, you're adding a beneficiary. If somebody passes away, all these life-changing events, you need to sit down with an elder law or an estate planning attorney. And I would recommend you update your will or your power of attorneys every 3 years.
Chad Slagle, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll take a break here. We'll be right back.